everyone. How you people are doing today? So as promised, 9:30 IST. I am here live again. Thank you who all are joining today. And as we are progressing day by day, so it's really um, great. I'm able to achieve or be on time. Yesterday, due to some technical issue, I was delayed. Apologies for that, but today I'm on time. Today I want to talk about something that almost every enterprise does, often with the good intentions. That is temporary fix. So the topic is the hidden cost of temporary fix in enterprise IT. So temporary fix, a quick workaround, a small exception, a patch to keep things running. Individual they individual they seems harmless, but over the time their temporary fix quietly become one of the biggest risks in enterprise IT. That is what we are going to talk about today. So temporary fix usually start during pressure, an outage, a business deadline, a senior escalation, a goal. The goal is simple: restore service quickly, and that's unstable. The problem starts when temporary fixes are never revisited, never documented, and never retried. They slowly become part of the system, and without any uh, consciously approving them. So, one of the example which I can take today. So, last one, or I think 2 or 3 days back, one of my senior engineer called me. Is it possible to join a call where one of the outage happened in one of the healthcare, uh, where we did the deployment, and this was the phase one of go live, and then something break. And when I reach, then on the call, because the CIO and entire team was really in panic, and my team, they were keeping lots of pressure on my team, and my team was trying to fix that. And then when I dig down with the team, and then I jump into the call to talk to with the CIO, and then I got to know they got some mail from their one of the vendor for certificate expiration, and they ignored that. And and even the critical reminder, second reminder also, they ignored. And as per them, their certificate is was not expiring, because as per them, this certificate was for 1 year, and that should not be expired. And then when I talk while discussion, I got to know this expiration day was 5 days back, and that certificate expired. And then they were saying ki, just go and replace this if required. And then I asked them, ki, why not you check first, take half an hour more and check why this confusion happened. And when we dig down, then we got to know there is clear instruction from the OEM ki certificate, although certificate is for 11 month, but it will be regenerated 1 month prior, and they will send the intimation for that rollover. And then somehow the customer ignored that, and that was the major issue. So now they know the what exactly the problem was, and then we updated the certificate, and then everything worked fine. But in future, they or their team may now understand what exactly gone wrong, right? So temporary fix becomes permanent architecture. I often see environment where the original design is no longer relevant, not because it was wrong, but because it was patched so many times. Extra rule, manual steps, exception on top of exceptions, And what started as a short-term fix quietly become the real architecture, and the system becomes harder to understand with every changes. So they're in the same case, right? So they were someone in the system bypassed those alerts, and if 2 days back we also did that temporary fix, just go and upload the certificate, then this will happen again in next year, right? When this certification rollover happen, then this outage will come again, and then at that time they will say "Okay, this was the big problem," right? So that is one of the cases. Another pattern which I can say, knowledge lives with individual, not system. I already told 2 days back, most temporary fixes are not properly documented. They live in the someone's memory, or in a chat message or email threads from a year ago. And so when the person is unavailable, or he is not there in the system, or he's on leave, this system becomes fragile. And this is where operational risk starts to grow silently. So try to understand with your team what all we have in our system. Do we have all document to recover that? If not, then this is the time where we need to go and ask him to create documentation on each layer, how we can restore, where the data is going, what exactly, and who all need to be there when something is going wrong, whose approval is required, how many downtime is required. Those things we need to uh, note down. And these are just some points. If you start noting down, there may be lots of things according to your application, according to your vendors and other things. So just document it and test it multiple times. Another pattern which I can say, troubleshooting gets slower, not faster. One interesting side effect of temporary fix, the more fix you add, the slower troubleshooting become. So because now symptoms do not don't match root causes. Changes have hidden side effects. Team hesitate to touch anything. So even a small issue takes to resolve longer to resolve, right? So troubleshooting gets slower in that case. And why? Because one interesting side will affect the temporary fix. So in past we did some temporary fixes, and that created some problem, or that reoccur due to some XYZ reason. Okay, so one of the case where one of my customer mm, were using dynamic IP, and all the servers are using IP from DSAP. But to troubleshoot something, they mm, provided one of the server with a static IP that started working for that server, and then the user requirement who were looking for those solution for those application were few of them in the system. So the issue was fixed that day, and after 10 days, or when reboot cycle happened, that server came into the original state where it took the new IP from DSCP, and boom, the disaster happened. And then they started panicking what the problem happened and where the problem happened. And that person who was on the did this troubleshooting and testing was not available. He was on leave, and he was not picking the phone. And then it's major outage because they did some changes without our knowledge and without any documentation. So this is the and here the entire troubleshooting got slower. Another pattern we can say, security risk increase without visibility. Many temporary fixes bypass controls, extra access, relax policies, just for now permission, and over time security team lose visibility into why something exists, who approved it, whether it needs still needed or not. Risk increase quietly without alerts. So what happened, we often see people came, "Okay, I need to troubleshoot this, can you allow my ID some privilege or elevated access, and someone from the AD team did that for the temporary purpose, but they forget to uh, remove the elevation after the troubleshooting, and that person was enjoying the elevated authentication. One of the case which I remember in last to last year, one of the IT member got some elevated access for his ID for some to troubleshoot some application related issue, and then the AD team forget to remove, and there was no process for approval, or especially for if something is approved for how many days, this was not mentioned, so it was permanent for him. And boom, the ransomware attack happened. So how the attacker moved to the system, that person, this IT person, downloaded some file, and that file got the elevated access for entire Active Directory, and it blocked all the environment, all AD servers and file server gone in under attack. Luckily, we have some backup and we restored, but definitely 24 hours to 36-hour downtime, and then stabilization period to multiple days. So these type of things happen. There are other pattern, we can say team spend energy maintaining complexity. So at some point, IT teams stop improving system. They spend most of their energy just keeping things from breaking. Workaround requires babysitting, manual step increase, automation become risky. This is how IT teams stay busy and but stop moving forward. So these are some of the points which I can say, but this can be avoided. So what CIO, IT managers, or any leader can do differently to avoid these things? Let me simplify this into fewer actions. First, every temporary fix should have an expiry date. If it doesn't, it is not the temporary. So the same case, the person got elevated rights, and they don't have the expiry date for that elevation, and then this disaster happens. Second, document fixes as part of the system, not outside. If it exists, it must be visible. So documents are should be part of the system, not the outside. Someone is creating a document and is keeping with him, or it's just sake of the audit we are creating document, then that will not fix the problem, right? So we need to create proper document, test them multiple times, so that if anything goes wrong, then we must have clear steps to perform or restore those things. Third, review the fix during claim period, not during the crisis. So if someone is doing some temporary things, then review properly how we can go for this temporary fix to permanent fix, and that's when the good decision are made. Because if you fix temporarily something and you are waiting, or you are happy things are sorted, now I can sleep, or I can go for the break, or uh, my job is over, then definitely that will create lots of problem in future, and it creates problems. In my last 20 to 25 year experience, I still saw lots of such incidents. Temporary fix are not the problem, unknown fix are problem. So I am not saying temporary fix is the biggest problem. We may need to do the temporary fixes for some of the cases, or to avoid major business loss, but it doesn't mean कि you keep those temporary fixes as a permanent. We need to resolve that permanently by checking with all the norms, and if we require any new documents or new process to fix those things, then definitely we need to do that. Now, here is a question with worth thinking about. Which temporary fix your environment would cause serious impact if removed today? There are no longer temporary, they are hidden dependencies. So question hear what you are doing with your system. So I'm taking a pause here and like to have questions. If you have any question, let me know. We will be happy to answer those questions. So do post in our comment so that I can learn from your knowledge, your mm, experience, and whoever is watching this video in future on YouTube and LinkedIn, they can get some extra benefits. So the last line I can say on this: temporary fix helps system survive pressure. As I told, maybe for business need that temporary fix at that time, but unmanaged fix slowly reduce resilience. So a strong IT organization don't eliminate fixes; they control them. And if this session helped or provide some information, then feel free to follow or subscribe and let me know what topic you would like to go live on next. Thank you for watching, and it will be great if you can share this with your colleagues, your friends, your juniors, so that they can also get some idea how to avoid or how to use this temporary fix uh, in their environment, and how they can avoid major outage due to these temporary fixes. Thanks again. I will come back again tomorrow. Till then, please like and subscribe.